Guys, welcome back to another episode of the MFC Approach podcast. I'm your host, Luke Mattson, and again, got KyLee Miranda here with me.
What's up?
KyLee, so happy to be here with you again. Always a good time, and it's so funny, guys, because we were just sitting here kind of getting ready to start the podcast, and we were just kind of talking a little bit back and forth, and I'm like, this is totally a conversation we should be having on the podcast so that people can hear, not that you guys care about our lives, but what we talk about is primarily focused on fitness and nutrition and, how we're working through different things. Obviously, KyLee is in a very unique place right now because she just finished her last show up in Washington and has now decided to do another one on June 1st, which was kind of unexpected, right?
Yep. I was kind of in the back of my mind, but I was like, you know what? I honestly was feeling it out. Like, how was I mentally? Was I invigorated, ready to push even harder, or was I tapped out?
Gotcha.
And so I felt pretty good, and I was like, let's do it.
Awesome.
I'm in.
So, tell us a little bit, KyLee, how has the transition been from going and competing to where you are now? What
does that look like?
Yeah,
kind of thing, and how
what's the
mentally...
stress levels like, and what's the eating look like and stuff? I'm just really curious.
Yeah. So going into the show, obviously it's super, super tight, super intentional with what you're eating. Very low. It's not a sustainable food intake, but you're supposed to bring a specific physique to stage, and so it requires some special things. But
can I ask a question there real quick? That's the one controversy I feel like people have with bodybuilding is it's not healthy.
It's not.
So would you say that though? Would you say it's just not healthy entirely, or would you say it's not healthy to maintain that long term? Because I'm honestly, from what I've seen, do you think it'll have any long-lasting effects on your body? The things you've put it through?
A negative effect?
Yeah, long-term. You know what I'm saying? Obviously there's a level of bodybuilding that I do think there are long-term effects. Once you get into the steroids and stuff, obviously that's going to affect you a long time.
Yeah.
But, I'm just curious. Do you think that what you're doing right now is going to have any long-term effects on your body? Or do you feel like what you're doing is healthy and sustainable in the way you're doing it?
Right.
Or I'm just curious, have you ever thought about that?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Because first, I think it's not sustainable long-term.
Right.
Right. As you're cutting into a show, you're super low calories. You're pushing your body beyond its limits. You're pushing your mind and your energy beyond its limits. And so that part of it is not sustainable.
Right.
But the habits that you build within a prep for show, positive effect long term. Cool. Absolutely.
Cool.
Because you're learning how to prepare foods that are nourishing and creating habits and figuring out portion sizes and seeing how much food, how much 4 ounces of protein looks like, right? What's 4 ounces of chicken look like? And you put it in your bowl so many times, you finally understand, oh, that's a portion size that my body needs, right? And so even now, when I, reverse and I get into off season and focus on other things in my life, I will always bring that portion size to mind, right? Understanding what my body needs to be in a good space.
Yeah. When you're prepping and stuff, do you track every time? Are you pretty diligent about tracking, or again, have you gotten to a point where you can eyeball it?
I can eyeball it pretty good. I will always bring out my scale, but
especially when prepping, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you want to be absolutely dialed in.
Yeah.
But that's what you're talking about is after the show and after you've reverse dieted and stuff. It's okay, maybe you're not as strict or whatever.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And obviously your calories will increase as you reverse out of the show,
right?
And your body feels better. But I think baseline is you learn healthy habits of portion sizes and how to prepare whole food options and what does that look like, and getting creative, because on prep you get really desperate and you really want different flavors, and so you're I can add liquid aminos and it feels like it's an Asian whatever,
soy sauce.
Exactly. And obviously that's not a way to live, but it allows you to have a little bit of freedom with flavorings and to be able to apply that to have better choices afterwards.
Well, and that's the thing too, because making those choices and like having those realizations and stuff, it's like when you do apply those to like your normal lifestyle, it's like you're not, I don't know if this is the right way of talking about it, but I'm like, you're not wasting calories on other things. It's like you can save those calories, you know, for another thing.
Yeah,
like,
you're utilizing them for something else.
So I love that. That's awesome. So you're feeling good then?
I feel great. Yeah, right now, energy-wise, I feel really good because I had a 4-day stint where it was more just like being intentional, like mindful, eating some really good foods I haven't had in a while. Because I hadn't totally made my mind up on my show at that point.
Okay.
I was kind of just enjoying food. We went to the gym. We walked a lot. Went and saw sightseeing up in Canada. And so it was rejuvenating for me mentally and physically because I was just sleeping and eating and walking. So it was very grounding for my nervous system. Cool. Because when you're in a prep like that, your nervous system is just like high strung. Yeah. It's just like you're on all times and it's hard. So now I feel really good. I have a little bit more food. I'm about 22 days out and I feel like my body's responding really well because I think of that reset. I mean, it's different for everybody and hopefully I'm still able to come in a lot leaner than I was in my last show. But for me mentally, I'm excited and I feel good and awesome. My workouts are strong and I feel rested and so
that's awesome.
Makes a difference.
So better, the same or worse than like a month or two ago when you were prepping for your last show?
A month ago I felt like crap. But just the few days is just a great reset.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
So
cool.
I feel good.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
should we get after it?
Let's get after it.
Okay.
We got a good show for you guys today. Me and KyLee have put together some points that we wanted to talk about around meal prepping and how meal prepping can be used as a tool when it comes to not only like specific goals of like fat loss or muscle building or whatever it may be, but also just like for everyday living. So we're going to talk about meal prepping, how to meal prep, what to focus on, and just some really helpful tips overall. So I'm going to turn it over to KyLee. KyLee gave this very inspired definition the other day of what, freedom looks like around nutrition. So KyLee, take it away.
Yeah. So I feel like this conversation comes up and I know that I've had a lot of self-reflection on it. It feels like we don't have a lot of freedom when we are meal prepping or we're, trying to stay on top of specific food intake. And when we just kind of like go all out and we don't think about it and we just put whatever food in our mouth and we just aren't intentional or thoughtful at it at all, then I feel like we push ourselves into a corner and wishing we would have made different choices, right? It's kind of like, I won't give that example, but when we push ourselves into that corner, we wish we had made a different decision, right? So when we actually are intentional about meal prepping and being intentional about what foods we're putting into mouth, we do have more freedom. So the definition that I kind of came up with was like true freedom is having the knowledge, practice, and understanding of nutrition to still have food you enjoy and still reach the goals and maintain habits you're working towards. And that just comes with time. Yeah. And we were kind of talking about it earlier before we kind of started the podcast. Luke was saying is like, I kind of feel, like I should need to be walking the walk a little bit better.
I said I felt like a fraud. I did. It's interesting because I mean, I don't want to go off too far on this, but I myself just hired a coach. KyLee's had a coach since we have started talking, doing these podcasts, and I've had coaches before, but it was just like I had this realization, like, man, if I'm expecting other people, to want to work with me and to get value out of working with me, then it's like, why would I not do the same thing, right? Yeah. And it's been so eye-opening awesome. To just kind of look inwards a little bit.
Yeah, have someone to keep you accountable and to reflect.
Yeah, and this is week one. Like, it's week one, and I'm just like, wow.
That's incredible.
It's just eye-opening again. Like, I don't necessarily feel bad about like my nutrition and stuff, like because I've been hitting my goals and
Yeah.
I'm maintaining a physique that I'm really proud of, and I'm still getting my workouts in.
Yeah.
But it's eye-opening because it's like there are some things I may be falling short on. Like most days I don't get enough fiber. And then like
most of us.
Yeah, like one day a week I get enough, but then the rest of the days I'm getting about half, like we talked about in our last episode. So anyways, sorry, I don't want to derail there too much.
No, the reason why like educating yourself and meal prepping and measuring food and learning about nutrition, when we do those things, it allows us to be able to pivot in the moment, whether you're at a barbecue or you're really craving a certain meal or you're going out to dinner with your friends. Understanding what macronutrients are, what your body needs, what your body feels good with, portion sizes, right? Learning those and creating those habits becomes like brushing your teeth eventually.
Yeah. Yep.
It just is, you just know how to do it, right? And I'm like, now I am never afraid to go out to eat. I know I can always make a good choice no matter where it go. And I mean, it's still self-discipline, right? It's still like I have to make that decision, but my brain has shifted to I'm wanting to fuel my body to get stronger muscles, to feel lean, to feel good, to be functional. So with knowledge comes, a lot of freedom. Yeah. And I believe that.
I love it. I love that so much. And definitely, like through experience, it really does come.
Got to do the reps, right? Got it. Like, catch me 4 years ago, I'd have been like, oh my gosh, like I feel so intimidated. Like I'm so nervous. Like I feel like I need to hit this exactly because I don't understand it.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep, exactly. So guys, what does a day of meal prepping look like? We're going to kind of get into some specifics of how to plan for meal prepping and what you need to do around that. So I guess kind of to start with, the end result. Meal prepping just gives you so much freedom and ability to not stress about what you're going to eat that day. It gives you the ability and power to not worry about, what if somebody brings in donuts to work or whatever it may be. Meal prepping truly it's a plan, and it's a plan that you stick to. I tell people all the time that if you track your calories of what you're going to eat the night before, you're a lot less likely to go off track, the next day. So meal prepping makes that even easier, right? Because you know exactly what you're going to eat for each meal, and so one of the main things is scheduling. Like scheduling time to go to the grocery store. Well, sit down, make a plan first. What meals are you going to make?
Yep.
How many servings do you want to make of each meal? And then put together your grocery list, right, of what you don't have at home already and what you need for those meals that you're going to meal prep. So.
Yes. Yeah, no, to kind of go off of that, like planning is going to give you the most success, like with anything in life, right? Like if we put it on the schedule, put it on our planner, put it on our calendar, you're more likely to execute it, right? Versus like, oh, I need to get this done, and it just kind of floats around, right? It doesn't become a priority. Same with exercise, right? Like if we don't say, I mean, it can vary depending on the stage of life and what's going on, but like if you say like I have to work out at 4 a.m. because that is the only time that I have allotted to me, I'm going to put that on my calendar, and then if I do that, then I have to make sure that I go to bed at a decent time so that I can recover well, right? So scheduling is so empowering, and again, brings a lot of freedom, right? So you're not trying to, you're not frantic or trying to figure out how to, put a meal together. Oh, how am I supposed to hit my protein? Right? So having something scheduled out and planned is super, super helpful. So, meal prepping. So along with scheduling, you should schedule time to actually meal prep. What does meal prep look like, right? That's chopping up your veggies, prepping your proteins, grounding up your lean beef, putting chicken in the crock pot, using your Instapot to cook, potatoes, or I think we'll I think that's the next step. Bulk prepping. Air fryer, crock pot, Instapot, the oven. Utilize it all because it will make things a lot easier.
Right. And that's the thing, guys, like with meal prepping nowadays, it's there's so many tools and what are they called, appliances that you can use, and that I would say most people already have. An air fryer is probably my favorite. I feel like anything tastes good coming out of the air fryer.
I know.
And it's not like you're dipping it in oil, you know. It's like you're just putting it in there, it's cooking, and then you eat it.
What's your favorite thing to make in your air fryer?
Man, so many things. Honestly, you know what I love doing with the air fryer is I love reheating meals in the air fryer.
It makes it feel fresh.
It's so much better than a microwave, yeah. Because like in a microwave, it comes out like hot, but also
kind of
mushy, for sure. And so air fryer keeps everything. Keeps the texture of everything correct, and I really do love that. But vegetables are definitely one of my favorites. It makes vegetables taste 10 times better. We put it in there, put some salt and pepper on it, and pull out asparagus or broccoli or whatever it may be, and it's just like so good.
You know what I love to do? The little like baby potatoes.
Oh, I've never tried that actually.
Oh my gosh, so good. Or I'll chop up like sweet potatoes. But the baby potatoes, I like the yellow ones because they're a lot creamier. And so I'll chop them up so it'll cook a little bit quicker. And I'll spray it with some avocado spray. And then I do a little bit of salt and pepper. And then I like to do like an Italian, like garlic and herb, a little bit of sweet onion. And then I'll do some rosemary on top.
KyLee likes to add the flavor, guys. I'm a much more simple meal prepper than KyLee is.
Flavor.
I actually do chop up potatoes really small. I've just never done like the mini potatoes, you know. But the mini potatoes are, I don't know why, they're so good.
Yeah.
I feel like they're so much better.
The yellow ones are just so creamy compared. Like it's more earthy, I guess. Like your bigger potatoes or like your red potatoes. Yeah. But like the small yellow ones,
they're
like
so good.
Oh, yum.
I agree, 100%. I'm pretty simple. I use what's it called? Montreal steak seasoning.
Okay, yeah.
I put that on like everything.
Everything.
I seriously do, like all of my meats, all of my vegetables. Like, I love it.
If that's what you like, you're gonna eat it.
Oh, it's so good.
Like I have staples too. Like my staples are like a sweet onion. Seasoning. And then like an Italian garlic and herb.
Cool.
So that and salt.
The Italian herb seasoning might be a new favorite of mine because yesterday, you guys may have seen my calzone on Instagram was so good. But there was the Italian herb seasoning like in the dough, as well as just like sprinkled on top and inside as well, and it tasted really good.
The Italians did something right. That's all I have to say.
Pizza is what they did right.
Have you ever actually had Italian pizza?
No, it's very different. I know.
It's so different.
But I've heard it tastes.
It's really good. It feels nourishing.
Fresh.
Not
Yeah.
Like you don't feel like crap after.
It's not greasy.
No, it's not. You're deep fried, yummy. Oh, greasy, cheesy. Are we making you hungry yet? Pizza.
Yeah, one day I'm gonna go to Italy though and just enjoy
pizza. It is a different beast. It's so good.
Yeah.
Like it's just like mozzarella and basil and marinara and very basic. Like anchovies on pizza is like the normal. Like that's your regular pizza. Like here it's like pepperoni or cheese. Like it's anchovy pizza, and I'm like, ooh, no thank you.
I don't know how I feel about that, but willing to try it.
Yeah. So and Naples is where you want to go.
That's the pizza capital.
Pizza mecca. Yeah, I think that's what I heard.
Cool.
Do you want to talk about? Should we go in depth about like the different prepping ways, like the air fryer and things like that?
Yeah.
Go in depth about that a little bit more. Just because I feel like I have a lot of clients who they just don't know where to go with like meal prepping, and it's hard, and it can be intimidating to just be like, oh, how long do I have to cook this? And I don't want to burn this, or I don't want the Instapot to blow up. That's one of my unspoken fears is I'm worried my Instapot's just going to
too much pressure.
Yeah. And so every time I'm like, keep my distance away as I let it release.
Let the steam out.
But so we were kind of talking about the air fryer. So air fryers, vegetables you can put in there. You can also go on Pinterest and say air fryer asparagus, and usually there's tons of recipes to guide you on temperature and length of time. Yep. The internet is amazing. Google, so helpful. I still do that. Like if I'm trying to create a new meal, I go to Pinterest or Google and just say, hey, how long am I supposed to cook this?
Yeah. There's a million Instagram accounts now too. Like, I mean, if you guys are looking to get more protein in your diet and you want to meal prep, it's like, just go to Instagram and search meal prep. And
just start saving them, and then your account will just start replicating. You'll get them fed
to you every day. Yeah. So anyways, I like that a lot because, even though like we have meal prepped before, like I agree 100%, there are still a lot of moments where I'm just like, oh, Google real quick, how long to cook this for, what temperature to cook this for. So yeah, totally agree.
And it comes with practice. Like, and we've been scared, right? Like we've been intimidated by, whatever preparation is, because we just don't, it's the unknown, right? And so, internet's your best friend, or also you can text one of us. We can help you through that.
Seriously, I was going to say this earlier, like, if you guys have any questions about anything when it comes to, calories or meal prepping or whatever it may be, DM us and we will both get back to you.
Or if you want us to go in depth about something too.
Yeah. And then we could even do something on a podcast if you guys wanted to hear more about something. So that's something we should start doing more. I think we did it like once, but as far as the podcast goes, we should get more ideas from more people feedback. Listening.
I like that.
So I guess the crock pot though.
What do you like to cook in there?
Roast.
Ooh.
And you can, again, throw a roast in, throw your potatoes in, throw your carrots in, throw your onions in. Like, it's
that one's fire.
Turn it on high.
Put a little. Do you do beef broth or beef?
So we have a roast that my family has done for a long time, and Morgan, my wife, has started making it a lot, and I'm actually making it for her on Sunday for Mother's Day. But it's like a pepperoncini roast. So you throw a lot of pepperoncinis in and dump a little of the juice in. You do like Morgan makes like her own ranch packet that's like dairy free and stuff, and you sprinkle that on. I'm trying to remember what else she puts in there. This one we actually don't usually throw vegetables in with, but air fry or bake some vegetables to go along with it. But it is just the most moist, like, oh my gosh, I love this roast.
What's the moisture from? Like the pepperoncinis?
Yeah, the pepperoncinis. Okay. Like you dump some of the juice in. There's got to be some sort of broth or something that she dumps in there. I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just curious because I was like, ooh,
why is it so moist?
Nice. Yeah, I was like, but maybe you got a trick.
If I think of it, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I've seen her do it a bunch.
Usually it's a broth of some kind, just so that it doesn't like burn. You want it as like when you're slow cooking it for so long, you want to give it a little bit of moisture so it doesn't come out super dry, but maybe the pepperoncinis does the trick.
I'll post it. Yeah. I'll post it when I know the recipe.
Thank you.
Anyways.
Post and share. Crock pot. One of my favorite things to cook in the crock pot is shredded buffalo chicken. That's my go-to right now. Is buffalo sauce, 0 calories, and I just throw probably like a half a bottle in with like 6 to 8 breasts. Okay. And I slow cook it for 6 to 8 hours. So usually I'll do it right before I go to bed.
Cool.
I'll cook it overnight, and then I, break it apart and put it in containers, and then I've got my food for the day.
Just wake up smelling buffalo chicken.
It is kind of a gross smell to wake up to, not gonna lie, but it's so nice that I don't have to think about it.
No, that's awesome. So
if you're looking for conveniency, there you go.
Yeah.
Cook while you sleep.
Cool.
Instapot. What do you use that at all?
I've used it a couple of times. We actually have never owned one.
Okay.
But I have used it a couple of times. I mean, even just for simple things like cooking rice and stuff.
Yeah, that's my main source for it.
Yeah,
is rice.
Because it's huge, and you can cook, a week's worth of rice, right, in one little go. But so that's the only thing I've really done in the Instapot. But I see KyLee posting on Instagram. KyLee does you made what was it one time? Was it like a rice soup?
Yeah, it was like a creamy rice soup. Yeah, like wild rice soup is what I did in there.
Okay.
I need to do it differently. It didn't come out exactly how I want it. See, like, we're not perfect either. We make mistakes when we're cooking. But there's a part in a lot of the recipes that I was reading that it asks you to saute in the Instapot first. And that's intimidating because I've never seen that, never done it. And so I just need to try it one time. Yeah. So just, it's an option where you have to like saute some veggies and it creates a roux, like you want to create a roux. But when I did it, I just threw everything in there. I was like, I don't care.
What's a roux?
A roux it's like a thickener for like soups. Oh, okay. So like usually like flour and a little bit of like butter or milk. Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. But that was one of my favorite things I made in there probably is that wild rice soup. Sweet. Or I've done a roast in there too when I had a family party and I was like, hey, we're making a roast in 2 hours. Here we go.
I think guys, like I think this is the one thing around meal prepping is it's like if you have a food you like, just honestly Google it. Like meal prep for whatever. Meal prep for
enchiladas, tacos, Italian meals, or like you can
guarantee you somebody has made it and has posted it, whether it's on a website or on social media. Like,
and there's a quote unquote healthier version.
Always. So I guess that's just the one habit I would say get in the habit of is around meal prepping is always look for ways to improve the macros as well as like make it in bulk so you have it for the next few days.
And choose things you like.
Yeah, exactly.
You eat it.
Exactly. I look back on my meal prep for my bodybuilding show I did back in 2019 and 2020. And I had a coach and he gave me a plan and I followed that plan to the T.
Good job.
But it was a lot of rice and chicken. And I'm like, I know he's telling me to eat rice and chicken. And like that was what I was doing. I was not adding anything to it. I was eating rice and chicken and literally grabbing a handful of spinach at every meal and just shoving it down my throat.
Shut up, you crazy
I was miserable, guys, and I was psycho. I was a psychopath at the end of that prep.
It sounds like it.
I mean, I could have benefited from listening to this. Like all you got to do is Google it, like how to make chicken and rice taste better. Yeah. Like I guarantee there will be a bunch of things come up, but I mean seasoning for one, maybe just throw
hot
on some
sauces are usually 0 calories.
Yep.
Garlic, onion, great for your digestion.
Yeah, I was a psychopath.
I mean, you came in very lean. Like you did, but at what cost?
I had a mental breakdown after that. Around food for like 6 months. I was in a bad place. So
what's what we want to prevent?
Live and learn. And learn. Yeah, yes. I've done it, guys, so you don't have to. Cool. Yeah. So anything else around there?
I don't do a ton of oven cooking just because it takes a lot of time. It does
take longer.
But there's one thing that one of my friends shared, and she is animal based. That's kind of like her focus. So they get local beef and they eat, raw cheese, milk, fruit, veggies, different things like that. And she showed a meal where it was like little meatloaf logs instead of like a big meatloaf. So you can like have it in different portion sizes. And it's just ground beef and it's like a squirt of mustard and it's chopped up peppers and I do some onions. And my husband's sensitive to garlic, so I can't do garlic, but if I could, I would.
Sensitive in what way?
Just IBS.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering.
Sorry, honey, if you listen.
Sorry, Josue. Didn't mean to ask that.
He's not shy about it. But,
I didn't think he would be.
Yeah, but he is pretty sensitive to it, and so I have to be very careful about garlic. Because I love garlic. I will garlic the crap out of anything I eat, hands down. Love it. So yeah, I stay away from oven cooking. Besides that, and I just make little meatloaf balls, like about the size of my fist, with all those ingredients. And then I just bake it at like 350 for like 10 to 15 minutes based off of the size and the redness that you prefer inside your beef. So
cool. I will say this with oven cooking. I feel like vegetables are really easy to do in the oven. Just put them on a sheet pan and cook them. And
you got to line up. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, it doesn't take too long. It does take a little while. It definitely takes longer than like the air fryer or something like that. But one of the other things too is like sweet potatoes. I actually saw this on somebody else's Instagram, but he just cut his sweet potatoes in half and then place them face down on the cookie sheet. And I mean, he cooked them for a while. I can't remember off the top of my head how long it was, but I mean, like, potatoes take a while in the oven.
They take
so, I mean, if you're at home working, though, or whatever it may be, it's like just cut a bunch of sweet potatoes in half, put them face down, cook them for so long.
I would say maybe an hour or two.
Yeah, definitely at least an hour.
Because potatoes you want slow and low.
Yeah. But it was crazy to me. I didn't realize this, but I mean, he simply just like pinched the back of his sweet potato and just like pulled the skin right off.
Okay, maybe it was longer.
So it probably was a long time, but anyways, definitely another valuable thing. Cause I mean, it doesn't take a ton of prep. All you got to do is cut it in half, put it on the sheet, and just wait.
Yes.
And then peel the skin off and eat up. So.
Internet says bonappetit.com preheat oven to 350 and place potatoes. Oh, they might be chopped up smaller. Gotcha. 60 to 75 minutes.
Gotcha.
So it just depends on like how small you chop up your sweet potatoes.
Yeah. These are like whole halves. Yeah. So, anyways, but then you don't have to peel them or anything like that. You just pinch the skin and pull it off. Yeah.
This one, really nice. $4.25 for 60 minutes. It's a little bit more intense. Poke some holes in it. Anyways, I digress.
Yep. But I mean, bottom line, guys, again, this takes time. This takes practice. It takes reps. Get in the reps. Get the reps in the gym. Get the reps in the kitchen. And it just becomes like second nature. Like it really does.
How many times a week do you meal prep? Or prep food?
Well, I'll be honest. I cook dinner for our family once a week. Usually awesome. Tuesday nights. Like that's my night to cook dinner. That's why I usually will post like Wednesday. I'll post like the food I cooked. Okay. I don't right now. I honestly don't do a ton of meal prepping.
Okay.
I'm not on like a super strict tight schedule. I'm mostly working from home, and so it allows me the freedom to be able to do that. And then I mean whatever we make for dinner usually carries over to lunch the next day. I have like a really, really simple protein waffle mix that I make that I've eaten like every day for the past 3 weeks now. Has a ton of protein and it just, I mean, it's got spinach in it. It's got oats, so like good carbs. And anyways, it's really good as well.
You've done the reps.
Yeah. And it takes me, like that's just like super quick. But again, I don't necessarily, I'm not at a point right now where I'm meal prepping for days ahead. It's more so just like kind of day to day.
It doesn't have to be necessarily, I don't think, like you're prepping a meal and then you're putting it in a box and you're setting it in there and you've got 5 days in a row for your lunch or whatever.
That's true.
It doesn't have to be like that. Like for me, cooking in bulk is so helpful. Like I will cook 5 pounds of ground beef and put it in one container. Yeah. And then I wake up early right before my workout and I usually prep for the day. It was like measure it out, my chicken and my beef, and then I'll just prepare my breakfast as soon as I get home from my workout.
Gotcha.
Throw it in the microwave. Yeah, so it's like you can cook in bulk, have it, that's prepping, right? Like you're prepping in bulk. Yep. I've got my vegetables prepped in bulk, and now I've got my, my zucchinis like chopped up, my peppers chopped up, so I can use that if I'm home for lunch. I can do like a little saute, or my eggs for dinner. Like it doesn't have to be elaborate, but just having things on hand and prepared, ready to go, you're gonna make a better choice if that's available to you.
It's true. I like that. So not necessarily having like a specific meal all measured out and perfect, but just having options to be able to quickly throw a plate on the scale, measure out your stuff, and
eyeball it.
Yeah, if you get eyeball it if you need to, if you feel confident in doing that. So,
which is a great segue into our next one.
Yeah.
Do you want to go cover it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Convenience is the key. Honestly, quick, easy. A lot of us are always on the go, and a lot of the clients. I'm not sure about your clients, but a lot of the clients that I work with is like, I don't have time to do this or to prep this or do that. And so a majority of like my prepping or, making meal plans for my clients is like, how can we get creative with, keeping things simple?
Yeah.
Like, okay, grab the rotisserie chicken from Costco, canned chicken. You've got, prepping in bulk. Or tuna packets.
Tuna packs. I was just going to say that one.
Anything? What else?
I think,
What do you like
obviously protein shakes, protein bars are like really great on the go things as well. But man, I'm trying to think now off the top of my head. I've got mostly a bunch of working dads who, are on the road a lot. One that specifically comes to my mind right now is, he's on the road almost every day, lives in northern Utah and travels down here to just a little bit lower northern Utah, the Salt Lake area, a lot. And he starts his day really solid. I feel like he's got a really good routine in place where he starts his day really solid. He is in a deficit right now, so it's not as many calories that he's trying to eat a day, but he has a really solid breakfast, a big smoothie that he likes to drink. He takes some of those snacks that we mentioned, like the protein bars or the chicken or the tuna packs and stuff, and then eats those in the middle of the day. And then when he gets home at night, he has like another good meal, and so it's keeping it really simple. I should have pulled this up, but I have a list that I send out to all of my clients and stuff of high protein, high fiber snack ideas and stuff. So,
maybe you can share a link or
yeah. If you want the list,
direct
send me
message
a DM.
Luke, and he will share it with you.
Yeah, for sure. But again, guys, I think we've said this 100 times. That feels like 100 times already in this podcast, but it just takes time, takes practice, reps and stuff. So just do the work.
It's just like getting good at anything else.
It's true.
You have to mess up. You have to figure it out, pivot, make mistakes.
Yeah.
Is Miss Frizzle from
the Magic School Bus?
Magic School Bus. What is her phrase? It's like, man,
you're really making me go back in the memory bank
I'll
here.
Look it up. You continue your thought.
Well, speaking of Mrs. Frizzle, have you ever seen the meme that she's like laying on a bench press? I'm guessing it was like a Magic School Bus episode. She's laying on a bench press and she's got the bar over the top of her, and there's like 3 plates on each, like 3 red plates on each side, and it's always like Mrs. Frizzle repping 315 like it's nothing. Oh my goodness, I die every time I see that. I love it.
How did I escape my mind? Miss Frizzle, take chances, make mistakes, and get messy.
Wow. There it is.
That's it. That's your wisdom for today, Miss Frizzle.
I almost feel like we should just call it quits right there.
Done. Mic drop.
I love it. We are coming up on the end here, but yeah, I mean, as far as some of the last things go, Kyle, I feel like we're kind of getting repetitive a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I was thinking too.
I mean, guys, especially when it comes, like we already mentioned, like when we go out to eat and stuff. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel bad about those moments. I mean, obviously, we want to have balance in our. Well, I hate that word. I hate balance because there is no such thing. There really isn't.
It's like a teeter-totter.
Yeah, just have a healthy mindset around it more than anything. It's like we're not going out to eat every night, or whatever it may be. Maybe you are
still
going
make
out
good
to
choices.
eat. Maybe you are going out to eat every night, but you can still make really good choices and stuff. You don't have to eat whatever, the pizza every time you go out.
I've seen people eat out for every meal and still make progress.
Yeah, it's true. It is true.
It's not impossible.
Just be mindful. Meal prepping, I guess, yeah. I mean, since we even started talking about this, like meal prepping is kind of like changed a little bit in my mind. It's just like have a plan. Like seriously, have a plan. Obviously at home, have things ready, convenient to just grab and go or grab and eat. But even when you're not at home and you don't necessarily have a bunch of stuff that you've prepped and have ready, it's like when you do go out to eat, like just be mindful. Like again, look at the menu before you go. Maybe make a decision of what you're going to eat before you go to the restaurant. And don't let outside influences, affect that choice. Because that's one of the things too that I feel like really is hard for people. Especially, I don't know why, like I can't remember if I've said this before or not, but like when I have clients that go out to eat, and they're hosting business people and stuff. It's like they feel like they have to eat what everybody else is eating. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why? Isn't that
You
the
wanna
most
be different.
backwards thing? Yeah, it's so backwards. It's like, because somebody wants to improve their health and eat more nutritious foods, it's like that creates a judgment around that person. Like, they think they're better than me or something like that. And it's like, no. Like, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
don't get it. So,
Well, it's our natural, like, I think it's like a natural psychological instinct where we want to blend in.
Wanna
Like, we want to
conform.
be a
Oh,
part of the pack.
maybe
You know
not
what I mean?
conform. Yeah, yeah.
We want to be a part of the pack. We don't want to stand out. We don't want to be different because it can disrupt our, I think it goes back to like the caveman, like disrupts our safety when we, go outside the norm or extend ourselves, right? Like, I want to be accepted. I want to be a part of this. And so it can be hard to be different, but you get to the point where you're just kind of numb to it.
Yeah.
Like, I go to the movies and I bring my own snacks.
There you go.
Because I'm like, it's a 2-hour movie. I'm
Yeah.
going to need my better snack options than what the movie theater has.
Yeah, I agree. I hear you.
And even like going on car rides or like going to visit the in-laws. Like, I'm like, okay, how long are we going to be there? Okay, I want to make sure that I have a protein drink on hand, or I need my water, or
This little girl's coming.
There's a little girl staring at us.
Me and KyLee record this podcast at the county library, and there's this little girl that's just coming in. She can't take her eyes off KyLee.
She's killing me.
That was funny.
Oh my gosh.
No, I agree though. I agree. Well, I actually heard something yesterday that I thought was actually really profound, but let's see if I can remember it now. He basically said something along these lines. It's like, you're going to make a lot of people really upset when you start doing what's best for you. Mm-hmm. And then he like pauses this big dramatic Instagram, but then he says, do it anyways, But like, it's so true. It's so true, guys. It really does not matter, especially in today's society. Like, if you want to blend into a lot of the habits and stuff that we have as a society today, I mean, it's not healthy. I mean, and not just around food and exercise. I mean, it's so many different aspects of life. But yeah. So,
what's our main takeaways today?
Yeah. Meal prep.
Word.
Meal prep.
Plan.
Have a plan.
Have a plan.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
Be intentional.
Yep.
Be mindful. Prepare ahead of time. Prep in bulk. Just do the hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
the hard thing won't always be hard either. That's the thing.
It'll get easier.
It does. Like, I feel like I'm repeating myself in a lot of ways, like of things I've said in the past. But like, guys, there's two types of discomfort. Like, we're gonna experience discomfort one way or the other. Mm-hmm. So you can either be productive with the discomfort, or you can be unproductive with the discomfort. So choosing to push yourself and look for more whole food, nutritiously dense foods, even in situations where it might not be your first instinct. Mm-hmm. Like, that's uncomfortable, but I promise, eating the pizza or whatever it may be, you're going to be you're going to be pretty uncomfortable later. You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes it's okay to have that too.
Absolutely. But it's like, yeah,
I hear you.
We gotta, it's the 80-20 rule, right? Yeah. Like the 80-20 rule, 80% of the time, eat the good stuff. 20% of the time, eat the tasty stuff. So yeah, find what works for you guys. I almost said the B word again. I almost said balance, but just find what works for you and stick to it. Practice.
Consistency over
reps.
Perfection.
Exactly.
You're going to fail. Get back up. Do it again.
Yep.
Get back up. Do it again. You're going to fail again and again, and then you'll figure it out.
Yep. Cool.
I think that's good stuff right there. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I don't.
I feel pretty good about it.
Good? Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for listening. Yeah, me and KyLee will be back again, at least in a month.
We'll be back.
Keep thinking we might start doing more, but who knows? Maybe not. A month is good.
I like a month.
Month is good. Maybe twice a month.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyways, lots of I have been doing a lot more episodes of the MFC Approach podcast, guys, so be sure to check those out as well. I mentioned before, KyLee, having you on with some of those other guests, and so maybe we should talk about that a little bit more. But for now, guys, just continue to strive to unlock your full potential, be the best version of yourself you can be. If you guys have any questions about anything really, DM me and KyLee. Follow us on Instagram, Luke Matson Fit. KyLee, what's yours again?
It's at Hogue, Hogue, Elite,
Hogue Elite.
Elite.
That's
Hogue
right.
Elite.
Okay. We'd be more than happy, guys, to respond to your questions. KyLee and I aren't influencers that are too big and too cool for your questions. So please
Absolutely.
send them over. Be happy to answer those and
Yeah.
give you as much feedback as we can. So thank you, guys. KyLee, thank you.
Live long and prosper.
We'll see you next time.
Next time.